Students, today we are going to study class 6 biology, and please turn to page number 25, and here we are going to deal with chapter number 2, that is flower, fruits and seeds. All of you have seen different plants now, and you might have observed that different plants have the different type of flowers. Okay, the flowers that vary in shape, size and colors. So what are these flowers? These flowers are very important to a plant because they contain the reproductive organs of the plant. Now we are going to deal with the parts of a flower. So flower arises from the floral bud, which is attached to the stem through an axis which is known as the pedicel, and every pedicel continues to form a swollen tip-like structure. This is known as receptacle. So basically the flower is being studied by its bifurcation into 4 consecutive whorls. Consecutive means one occurring just after the another. So the 4 whorls of the flower are calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Here in figure 2.1 you might have able to see this is a receptacle, this is pedicel, this is a sepals. Okay, this is the first whorl of the flower. Then this petals, this is the second whorl of the plant. Then this anther and this filament, they are the third whorl, and the stigma, style, ovary and ovule, this form the fourth whorl of a flower. So stigma, style, ovary and ovule, these 4 altogether forming the pistil. Okay, that is the female reproductive part. Then anther and filament forming stamen, this is the male reproductive part. Okay, now come to page number 26. Okay, now we are going to study calyx. So calyx is the outer whorl and it has sepals, which is a small leaf-like structures, and they might be joined with one another or they can be separated from one another. And the main function of the sepal is to protect the bud. Now corolla. Corolla is the second whorl of the flower, and it's a colorful ring or petals. Have you seen the petals? The flowers of different color, red, green, blue, pink. So that is because of the presence of this petals, and they are scented. They are having the sweet smell. Why so? In order to attract the insect, and they also protect the female reproductive organ. Now androecium, this is the main reproductive part of a flower, consisting of here you can the figure. Come to figure 2.2. Here you can see the figure now. This is a stalk-like structure. This is known as a filament, and the swollen tip, this is known as anther, and this whole structure is known as a stamen. As you just have a cross-section view of this anther, here you can see the pollen sacs. These sacs contain the pollen grains. These pollen grains are male sex cells. Now moving on to the gynoecium. So what is gynoecium? It's the female reproductive part of a flower, and it contains carpel or pistil, and the number of carpel and pistil can vary, and each carpel or pistil contain stigma, style and ovary. Here in the figure you can see this is the stigma, this is the top swollen tip, and here the pollen gets stick on this very surface. Style, it's a tube that is connecting the stigma to the ovary, and ovary contains the female egg cells. These are the egg cells which is known as the ovules. Now coming to the next page, that is page number 27. Now do you know? So every seed is a fruit. Every structure containing seed is a fruit. Anything that contains seed is a fruit. Have you seen the pea pod? That outer cover of the pea pod is nothing, it's a fruit wall, and the peas present inside it is a fruit, and they are individual seeds, and each seed is formed because of the fertilized ovule. This is an activity. Here you have to suppose to count the number, color of calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. You can just have a flower. If it's available at your home, you can just plug the flowers. You can count the number and color of the calyx, number and color of the corolla, then number and the color of androecium and gynoecium. Now turn the page of your books Come to page number 28. So pollination, the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of a pistil is known as the pollination. Just turn the page to page number 26. Here you can see the transfer of anther to the stigma. This process is known as the pollination. Now turn back to page number 28. So pollination is basically of two types: self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination, in this pollination what is happening? This anther is transmitted to the stigma of the same flower. And cross-pollination, the anther of one flower is being transmitted to the stigma of other flower, and anther of this flower is being transmitted to the stigma of another flower. This is known as a cross-pollination. Pollination is also done by the insect, wind and water. The insects that are helpful in the pollination are basically bees and butterflies. So these insects are attracted to the flower by their sweet smell, okay, and they just go and sit on the flower, okay. And what is happening, because of this sticky structure, some of the pollen grains get stuck to their body, and when they fly over to another flower, then the pollen grains from their body just fall off on the stigma of the other flower. In this way they are helping out in the pollination. And one of the basic very obvious thing about this insect pollinated flower is that they will be bright in color, the size will be larger, they will be having the sweet smell, okay, they will be scented in order to attract the insect. And some of the example of the insect pollinated flower is sunflower, marigold, bougainvillea, jasmine, banyan and banana. And this wind pollinated, here you can see in figure 2.5, here is a flower, okay. Here one of the bee is coming and sitting on that stigma. Some of the pollen grains are being sticked on its body and just flying on to another flower. Here the pollens are falling off on the stigma, and thus they are helping in the pollination by transfer of the pollen grains from one flower to the stigma of another flower. Now pollination by wind, okay, here wind is helping out in the pollination. How come? In some of the wind pollinated plant, what is happening? The anther is borne in outward, okay, and as the wind blows, the pollen grains, they just move, they are just carried out by the wind, and these pollen grains are caught on the feathery stigma of some other plants, and in this way the pollination is happening. This will be clear from this figure, that is figure 2.6. Here the pollen grains are blown on outwardly, and as the wind blows, they are carried away by the winds, and here it's getting attracted with the feathery stigmas. And the example of wind pollinated plants are maize, rice, sugarcane, bamboo and palms. And the other kind of pollination, that is pollination by water. In this kind of pollination is happening in the aquatic plants, and basically the plants that remain submerged, that means the plant that remain under the water. So here the pollen grains are very light and they are easily carried out by water from one flower to another flower, and thus they are helping out in the pollination. Example of the wind water pollinated plant is Vallisneria and Hydrilla. Now another important topic is fertilization. When pollen grains falls on the stigma of some other flower, the next step is fertilization. In this fertilization, what is happening? Male sex cells, they are getting fused with the female sex cells or your female gametes in ovule of the plant, okay, ovule of the flower, and they form a new cell which is known as the zygote, and this process is known as a fertilization. When pollen grains fall on the stigma of the pistil, pollen grains grow the pollen tube, they move downward through that style and reach to the female gamete in the ovary, and the male gametes move to the pollen tube And what happened on reaching the ovule, this pollen tube enter the ovule and they just burst open, and the male sex cells present in this pollen tube, they get inside and they get fused with the female gamete present in the ovule, and they form the fertilized egg, which is known as the zygote. And ultimately this zygote is developing into the embryo, and embryo is that part of seed which develops into a new plant. So embryo, what it's zygote is forming a seed, okay, and these seed remain dormant, and when the condition turned out favorable, then this seed germinate into a new plant. So embryo is nothing, they are the baby plant in the dormant state. Now turn the page to page number 30. Here you can see fertilization plant. So here you can see stigma, style, ovary, embryo, sac. This is the female part. Okay. Now this is anther, this is filament, and pollen grain is coming here. This pollen grain is developing a tube. It's reaching here. It's reaching the embryo sac, and as such, when it reaches out here, this pollen tube, it will burst open. It will open up and it will just come to ovule. Here the ovule and this male sex cell will fuse together and they will form the zygote. And zygote will develop and form the embryo, and this embryo will turn out to be a baby plant when the condition get favorable for its growth. In this session we are going to deal till here, okay, and your assignment is turn to page number 29. Here you can see test your understanding. So give one word for the following questions. 7 questions are there, okay, and these questions are from the portion that I taught. So please complete this in your book itself. Thank you.